Hi everyone and welcome back. Welcome to my playlist where we are talking about serverless, and it's all about Lambdas, which is available in different cloud vendors. Like if you talk about AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, uh, so all these cloud vendors provide these kind of features where you can write functions like Lambda functions. Similarly, there is a Azure functions, right? So first of all, why we need these Lambda functions to run our task? So it is required for special use case. I mean, sometimes you don't want to worry about the operating system, the patches, the security of operating system. You just want to focus on the logic which you are writing in the functions, because at the end what you are executing the code. You don't want to worry about the platform on which your code is being executed. What you need is expertise in a particular technology, okay, Java, Node.js, Ruby, and you write your code, and the serverless framework will take care of deploying your Lambda, making your Lambda available to the API gateway. Okay, so here I'm logged in with the administrator account, not the root account, and here we can just look at the Lambda. So Lambda, API gateway, all these are paired together. Now we will see the different settings of the Lambda. If I want to create a simple Lambda function, okay, hello Node.js. Okay, so I'm choosing the latest version. Advanced settings is all about memory and all, network and all. So we can choose the default VPC. Subnets we can select at least 2 subnets. So let's do this. And if you want to access a particular AWS service, then you have to assign a role. So for now, we are just creating a simple Lambda. We'll take care of all those things later. Now security group, default security group for VPC. It is allowing all ports. And now we are creating our first Lambda. So I mean, if you're creating a Lambda and not executing it, then you are not going to get charged. But if you are executing Lambda, that is the only cost which you need to pay. If you are executing the Lambda, getting hits, then you have to pay. Otherwise, just creating the Lambda, it is sitting idle. It's not consuming any resource, any storage, compute, or networking resource. So if this is the Lambda, and here you can see that AWS provide this nice and clean way of kind of editor field where you can also write your code, like you can create a new files, all those things. It's like a small VS code, not exactly VS code, but some kind of that. Now what you need to do is, it's a simple handler function, you can see. So it's a simple function and it is returning this JSON response, right? If you want to execute this, if you want to test this, then you can just simply action. So you can also upload a zip file if you have the code base and which has a root index.js and same kind of signature is there, then you can also upload a zip file. Upload from S3 is also possible. Okay, now we can actually test it and deploy it. Let me just see the settings. Status code creating. Okay, it's still creating the Lambda function, so that's why we are not able to test and deploy it. You can just refresh it. I mean, ideally it should not take that much time to create a Lambda. So this is all Node.js code. We choose Node.js, so it's a simple function, and this is what returning the response, and it's async. So whatever you wanted to do here, in further code we will add more files. In some file you will be writing to S3, reading from DynamoDB, writing to SQS queues, all those logics you can write. You will not be writing everything in a single code. You just need to have a root handler function. After that, this handler function can call your respective another modules, another files. It can be a whole like simple Node.js application, which is obviously not exposing some HTTP port on server. You will be writing some code only. Okay, now we can see our Lambda is created and we can test this. We can create a test event. I'm just sending this dummy JSON just to test it, and here you can see the execution detail. This is what we are getting, hello from Lambda, and here you can also see the logs. And regarding the logs, it's a long story. We are going to check the logs for a particular Lambda in the CloudWatch, which is another service of AWS, and it will give us the detailed log about a particular Lambda. So this will help us to do the debugging and all. I mean, we are not doing anything in this particular Lambda, we are just sending a response back. So this is our code. Whatever you are putting in the console.log and all these things, you can actually check in the log. And this is like you triggered once, right? Now to execute this particular function, you have to trigger it once again, because it's not a server based, it's a Lambda, which is a function which will execute when you are triggering it. So you have to test it again. You can configure multiple test events. First, whenever you are changing the code, make sure you have saved it. Okay, and then test it. Save, deploy. So first do the code change, then deploy, and then test. Same cycle. And now we will also see the logs in the CloudWatch, because we triggered this many times. So we should be able to see the logs coming up in the CloudWatch for the same. And here we can see the latest logs are here. You can see whatever I logged, that is printing here. So this will help us in debugging a Lambda, because you can't run remote debugging for Lambda as per my knowledge. What we do is, you sometimes when you do the production debugging, you have to just check in the CloudWatch or your dependent services. Okay, so this was our first Lambda. Now this Lambda, you can't execute the code from the outside world directly to the Lambda. You have to integrate this Lambda to the API gateway. So the API gateway will give you the entry point to execute this Lambda function on a particular port, on a particular API endpoint. Okay, that we will talk about. So the first video, we just created a simple Lambda function, and here we will be just using this designer, because Lambda function will be talking to SQS, will be talking to S3, will be talking to DynamoDB. So a Lambda function should have appropriate role, so that Lambda function can talk to other services. Okay, now coming back to these Lambda, we have this Lambda function provided by most of the cloud vendors like AWS, GCP, and Azure. Azure functions, AWS Lambda functions, the names are different, but they are doing the same thing. They are giving you the platform where you just need to write the code, and that's it. You write your function, map it to the API gateway, and expose it. So your client, your front-end client, should be able to call the service and get the response. Okay, so our main focus is AWS, and then maybe later I may also talk about Azure. Okay, that's it. So let's get started with the journey with the Lambda in coming videos. Thanks everyone.